Good morning, 7th grade. How are we doing today? This is Mr. Habercorn. It's 10th of September, and here's our problem of the day. Go ahead and pause the video, copy down everything you see, and give it a try. Okay, I'm guessing you paused the video, gave it a try, and then unpaused it. So we're going to talk about how to solve this problem of the day, just like we did yesterday. First thing I showed you, and should be in your notes, is to draw the line. And then I forgot to tell you this part yesterday. Your goal is always to get your variable by itself. We know the variable is this letter, so we want to get rid of this plus 3.4. On this side, we want to get the variable by itself. So we always do what's called the inverse operation, which means the opposite. The opposite of plus is minus 3.4. Next step said if we did it to one side, we have to, do it to the other. Okay, 3.4 minus 3.4 is nothing. That's gone. Bring down my variable, which is now by itself, right? There's nothing else over here. And then just subtract straight down. You got to make sure when we're doing decimals that our points are in a nice straight line. Okay? So 6 minus 4 is 2. Point. 9 minus 3 is 6. So x equals 6 2/10, or 6.2. All right. So we did addition and subtraction equations yesterday. Today we're going to do multiplication and division equations. So if you don't have your calculator, you're going to need a calculator. So maybe there's one on your cell phone. Maybe there is one that you have around your house, but you're going to need that today. So if you don't have one, pause it, go find yourself some kind of calculator, or pull one up on your computer or on your phone. All right, so below your problem today, you're going to write your name again, you're going to write notes, and our objective today is very simple. It's multiplication, which we now use a point for. We don't use x's anymore. And division equations. Which may seem complicated, but with a calculator, this should be very easy. All right? So we have our same set of steps. We do our line. Step 1. Get variable by itself by using inverse operations. And we already know that just means the opposite. And today, opposite of multiply is divide. Opposite of divide is multiply. And what you do to one side, do to the other. And that's it. All right, so there are only 2 steps to do these. All right, so let's take a look at some of these. You may have to hit pause, copy this all down, but I'm going to move fast so the video doesn't take forever. Go back if you need to. All right, so here's what a multiplication equation looks like. And just like I said before, we draw our line. So this isn't 3 plus x, this means 3 times x. When a number and a variable are touching, that means you multiply. This number in front of the variable has a long name. It's called a coefficient. And that just, all that means is you're multiplying this. 3 times x. So, we drew our line, we have to do the opposite. What's the opposite of multiply? Is divide. So we want to get rid of this 3 so the x is by itself. So I just do the opposite. Divide by 3. If we do it to one side, we do it to the other. Our 3's cancel out. 3 divided by 3 is 1. We don't need to write the 1. 1x is the same as x. So those are just gone. Then I do 18 divided by 3. Type it in your calculator. And you get 6. Nothing too hard. Now let's look at one that's backwards. $70 equals 10m. Draw our line, cut the problem in half. We want to get our variable by itself. What's the variable? Right, it's m, right? We want to get that by itself. So I want to get rid of this 10. They're touching, so that means that's multiply. We have to do the inverse operation, which is divide. Divide by 10. If we do it to one side, we got to do it to the other. It's the first rule of algebra. Okay, so 10 divided by 10 is just 1. Once again, those are gone. Bring down my m. That's all that's left. We got it by itself. 70 divided by 10. Type it in your calculator. 7 equals m. That's a little weird sounding, so we're going to flip it. M equals 7. So that's multiplication equations. That's as hard as they get. If you have a calculator, it's just as easy as adding, subtracting, maybe even easier. Okay, so the division ones are a little bit different. They're actually easier. So I'm going to do x. Now they don't use a division sign usually. They put it over it. X divided by 3. So when you see this, that means x divided by 3. Equals, we'll just say 5. You may see it written like this, but probably not. These both mean the exact same thing. So I'm going to draw my line. Do it on both of them because they're both the same problem. We want to get our variable by itself. So I want to get rid of divide by 3. What's the opposite of divide by 3? Times 3. Good. If we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other. Same down here. Opposite of divide by 3 is times 3. And right here is why I don't use an x for times. We already have an x in this problem, so we use a dot. 3's cancel out. Divide by 3 and times by 3 cancel out. All that's left over here is x. And then we just do 5 times 3. There's your answer, circle it. Same here, the 3's cancel out. X is all that's left. 5 times 3 is 15. And circle it. So 2 different ways to do the same problem. We'll quickly look at one that's backwards, and then that'll be it for today. So I'm going to say 9 equals m divided by 2. Draw my line. Don't forget my goal. My goal is to get the variable by itself. So I have to get rid of divide by 2. So don't try to do times 9. We want to get rid of the 2 and get the m by itself. We don't want to get rid of the 9. So that's the biggest mistake people make, is they try to get rid of the 9. No, we want to get rid of this 2. So this is m divided by 2. I'm going to do the opposite. Times 2. If I do it to one side, I do it to the other. The 2's cancel out. All that's left is m. And then 9 times 2 is 18. Oh, that one's backwards. Let's flip it. And there's my answer. M equals 18. Now we don't want to just write 18 as the answer. Don't forget to write m equals 18. And the reason for that is when you get into 8th grade, you'll have problems with 2 letters in it. So you'll have 2 answers. You'll have to say which one is m, which one is x. So it gets a little confusing. So that's it for today. If you need to watch this video again, go ahead. If anytime you need to pause it and write down all the notes, do that. It's going to help you do your work today because it's going to look just like this. All right, you guys have a great day, and tomorrow